roommate. When my best friend Nate asked if I wanted to split an apartment with him, I jumped at the chance. We found an old place downtown, cheap, but with charm. Creaky wooden floors, big windows, and a weirdly long hallway that seemed like it belonged in a horror movie. The landlord gave us a great deal, and within a week, we moved in. The first few nights were fine. We spent late evenings watching movies, ordering takeout, and making jokes about the place being haunted. But by the end of the first week, things started feeling off. One night, around 2 a.m., I woke up to the sound of footsteps. Slow, deliberate, and heavy. They echoed from the hallway, stopping just outside my bedroom door. I held my breath, listening. I figured it was Nate going for a midnight snack. He always had a habit of raiding the fridge late at night. But the footsteps didn't move. They just stopped. After a few moments of silence, I heard something even more chilling. Whispering. Faint, but unmistakable. Right outside the door. I couldn't make out the words, but it sounded like a conversation between two people. My heart pounded as I strained to listen, and then, as suddenly as it started, the sound stopped. I forced myself to check the hallway. It was empty. The next morning, over coffee, I mentioned the noise to Nate, expecting him to laugh and say it was him. Instead, he went pale. "I thought that was you," he said. "I heard footsteps outside my door, too." We both shrugged it off. Maybe it was the building settling, or maybe our nerves were getting to us. But the next night was worse. I woke up again at 2 a.m., this time to the sound of someone breathing heavily in my room. My chest tightened as I slowly turned my head toward the corner near my closet. In the dim light, I could barely make out a figure standing there, unmoving. I couldn't see a face, just the outline of a tall man with broad shoulders. I squeezed my eyes shut and prayed I was dreaming. When I opened them again, the figure was gone. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The next morning, I convinced Nate that we should do a thorough search of the apartment. Maybe someone had broken in without us knowing. We checked every closet, cabinet, and crawl space. Nothing. But when we got to the hallway, Nate stopped in his tracks. "Did you write this?" he asked, pointing to the wall just outside my bedroom door. Scrawled in what looked like charcoal were the words, "He never left." My stomach churned. We packed our bags and left that same day, calling the landlord to break the lease. But before we drove off, the landlord met us outside the building, shaking his head. "Let me guess," he said. "The man in the hallway got to you." Apparently, a former tenant had lived there years ago, a man who died mysteriously. Some say he never realized he was dead and still wandered the apartment, looking for his roommate. That night, I stayed at my parents' house. I thought I was finally safe. But at 2 a.m., I woke to the sound of heavy footsteps outside my bedroom door.